Julian Grunauer, and I'm a manager of technology strategy here at Appian.
And hey everyone, I'm Kevin Froimson. I'm a senior product manager over on our product team here.
So thank you all so much for attending this session. I know it's the very last day. Really appreciate you guys being here. Before we start, just want to call out, like other presentations, we have a quick Q&A section at the end. So if you log into your Appian Events app, if you have any questions as we go through the presentation, feel free to log your questions here and we can get to them at the very end. So at this point of the conference, I'm sure you've all heard about our extensive data fabric, our scalable process engine, and just how easy it is to integrate the best-in-class AI into any process. And while I love talking about AI, we're gonna do things a little bit different here and talk about what makes Appian so special, part of the core foundation of our platform, our low-code interface designer. So we're going to introduce some new low-code components, some changes with our interface designer, and I'm actually going to flip the script a little bit and also talk about what's not included in Appian components. So what do I mean by this? Appian is a fully flexible, open platform that can be fully customized to your business needs. You can kind of think of Appian's UI as a spectrum where at one end you have all of the out-of-box components. You can build any interface you want with them. And on the other, specific to your own business's needs, you can code up any high-code UI component, function, smart service, and inject it into Appian as if it was out-of-the-box native. And actually, we're going to talk about today a brand new program that's coming out in 25.2 called Advanced Plugins. That's kind of in the middle of the spectrum. And advanced plugins are basically plugins created by Appian for our advanced and premium tier customers that allow, that basically target some of the most highly requested features. So to kick it off, Kevin's going to talk to us about some of the new out-of-the-box components and experiences coming to you in a redesigned low-code designer.
Awesome, thanks Julian. As Julian mentioned, we'll start off by talking about how you can configure UIs with our out-of-the-box design experiences. Our low-code platform is simple and flexible, allowing you to configure applications to power your business outcomes. So let's jump in. I want to start this off by talking about the hub of your user interactions, Appian Sites and Appian Portals. Appian Sites allow you to build custom, targeted user experiences that are catered to your users, no matter how complex your business requirements may be. With Appian Sites, you can provide your users with customized and focused experiences that allows them to quickly access the pages, tasks, and informations they need, all tailored to their role. Each site can be branded to match your corporate identity. By setting your branding at this global level, you can accelerate your application design and build something that truly blends in with your enterprise ecosystem. So whether you're building other applications using Appian technology or you're using it with other technology, you're really able to create something that truly blends together. And in 25.1, we're committed to continuing to improve this by adding more branding configurations for your sites and portals, including button capitalization and dialog shape, so that you can continue to better match your corporate identity. So essentially, Appian Sites serve as the hub for where work gets done in Appian, providing a protected way for your users to connect and interact in internal processes. Now, Appian Portals serve as a sister experience to Appian Sites. Appian Portals provide the same experience as Appian Sites without authentication. Using the same no-code design experience, you can design engaging experiences that allow you to connect to some of your most important audiences, people like your customers, partners, suppliers, and more. Portals allow for anonymous users to access the information they need, trigger workflows that are connected to your internal systems, and generally engage in self-service operations without authentication. You can create simple, streamlined portals with a specific purpose, or portals that can handle your most complex operations. So for example, use portals to create self-registration forms for streamlined data entry, or create portals that serve as an entire hub for an entire program, allowing anonymous users to create requests, check the status, view more details, or generally learn about a program. Put simply, Appian Portals let you leverage the power of low-code to build public websites that act as the front door to your Appian applications. You can quickly create sites and portals using our powerful no-code design experience. Here, you set up the overall structure and branding of your site or portal. So let's walk through that now. So here you can see I'm starting by setting up my overall structure of my page, and I can do this using what we call pages. So here I can go ahead and select an interface that already exists or create a new one to power my user experiences. From here, you can see I'm selecting an interface that I've already had created, and it populates directly in my live branding preview, giving me an overall what you see is what you get design experience. I can continue the same thing to set up the rest of the structure of my application. Now that that's set, I can go ahead and update the overall branding of my navigation bar. I can choose between a header bar and sidebar depending on my branding standards, as well as set my overall branding here to better match my ecosystem by setting up colors and a logo as well. I can also go ahead and set that global branding that I was talking about that applies to each individual page that I create. So here I can choose from things as my input shapes, my button shape and capitalization, dialogues, as well as accent color to apply to all of the pages that exist on my interface. I can also set up security as well as configure it as a progressive web app. So as you can see, Appian no-code design experience for sites and portals allows you to quickly set up streamlined experiences for your users. Now, Appian sites and portals create the shell of your user experiences. But what about what appears on each page? At Appian, we make it easy to design attractive, rich, and intuitive user experiences. Our low-code architecture, known as SAIL, enables you to build interfaces quickly using a drag-and-drop framework, point-and-click designs, and reusable components. And the best part, you build once and realize everywhere. SAIL allows you to use the same design to support users on desktops, laptops, tablets, and smartphones. It's compatible across different browsers and is hardened from our internal security experts. Whereas with high code, this may require multiple teams to support. With Appian, low-code developers can have a single skill set and work in a single set of code. You don't need to train specific developers for web versus mobile or internal versus external experiences. It's all Appian SAIL. And because of this, you can achieve your business outcomes faster and ensure that you're creating great experiences for all of your users. And we're continuing to improve the design experience in order to accelerate your development further. In 25.2, we've started to refresh the look of Interface Designer. In addition to the styling changes, we also reorganized the header, making controls easier to find. And if you've worked with Appian for a while, you may notice a new tool in this updated header. We're adding the branding preview. The new branding preview allows you to see how your interface will look on any given site or portal with all of your branding options configured. This gives you a true what you see is what you get design experience. And this similarly serves as a nice parallel to the other previews that we have within our interface designer. In addition, we also have our form factor preview, which allows you to view your design on any screen size, whether it's web versus mobile or a large desktop, monitor, or a small laptop. As well as our localization preview, which allows you to see what this will look like to your users in different locales, whether they're using it in English, French, or another language that totally updates your page. Combined, this really gives you that true what you see is what you get design experience, down to the finest detail. Now, not only is our interface designer more powerful in 25.2, but we've also increased the performance for low-code developers. You'll notice that opening the interface object, dragging components onto the palette, and updating configurations are all much speedier in 25.2. Low-code developers will see a 25% reduction in wait times while working in interface object. And if you're somebody who's working in UIs all day, this time saving can really add up. Now, in addition to this new and improved design experience, we're also dedicated to updating the tools you use to construct your experiences. We're always adding new components and updating existing ones to allow you to quickly build modern and functional experiences. In 25.2, we are introducing major improvements that will take your form design to the next level. Forms are ubiquitous in any modern application. Whether you're a customer, a future customer, or you just decided to stay for the last session for fun, we are sure that whatever you're building has many, many forms. So we're improving our form layout capabilities so that you can quickly and easily configure your forms that will wow your users. We're adding control for colored backgrounds, fixed title bars and footers, and updated content widths. So these new configurations will really give you the flexibility you need to tailor your experiences to your use case. And I want to hone in on the title bars for a second as well. We're introducing the concept of title bar templates with just a single click that allows you to totally change how your title bar will look and feel. These were designed by our in-house UX experts, and they allow you to really get the finer detail of your design experiences without having to be a UX expert. Everything from padding and spacing to typography have been carefully selected to meet industry best practices so that you don't need to think about anything. Now, we also know that sometimes you can have complex data entry requirements. You maybe don't want to overwhelm your users with all of the data on a single page. For that, we're excited to announce the new wizard layout. The new wizard layout helps you turn your most complex forms and processes into clean, modern, multi-page forms that are easy for your users to understand. We've extracted out the most common navigation and validation logic so that you can focus on what matters, meeting your business requirements and customizing to your use case. Working with the wizard layout is a breeze. In just a few clicks, you can configure everything that you need to construct your user experience, whether it's adding additional steps, adding the content onto an existing step, and much more. In this case, you can see that we're creating a form that allows our end users to enter in information about a project. We have project details, project funding, project equipment, and additional information. And all of this combined would be too much to put on a single interface page. And so by splitting it into different steps, we're able to really create that better end user experience for our users. Now, in addition to these big layout capabilities, we're also pushing forward the boundaries of what our components can do, down to the smallest detail. For example, in 25.1, we added new drag and drop reordering capability to our editable grids. We added milestone styling, a heading component, and we continue to add many more capabilities. In 25.2, we're improving our popular style text editor component so that we now include subscript and superscript in addition to all of the rich capabilities that they have. Our investment in expanding these interface capabilities ensures that you're always able to build transformative user experiences and connect with your audiences, no matter how complex your use case may be. Now, while we provide these powerful no-code tools for configuring your interface design and logic, we don't stop there. Appian provides an Excel-like expression language, SAIL, that can meet your most complex UI business requirements. Because SAIL defines your UI appearance and behavior with the same expression, you can make any part of your experiences dynamic and driven by Appian data, workflows, or external systems. You can show or hide fields, make a field behave differently based on different data or for different user audiences, all using one simple expression language. You can have as much dynamic, complex behavior as your organization needs without needing custom code. So now that you've seen the power of our interface design experience, I want to show you a powerful way to get started, right from your data. By this point in your conference, you're probably familiar with the power of our data fabric capabilities. So in addition to setting up your data models, security, and more, you can also quickly generate user experiences right from your data. So in 25.1 and 25.2, we made this experience even more powerful. So let's see how that works. You can see I'm starting here with a fairly complex data model. On the front end, I'm able to view this as a record grid, which is what we get by default when we drag and drop a grid based on the improvements we made to our grid component. From here, I can navigate back to the record object, and on my actions page, I see the ability to generate record actions. I can go ahead and click this, and I have the option to create, update, and delete actions, so the general CRUD capabilities. I can also customize this to meet any technical standards that my team may have, but in this case, I'm just going to move forward. You can see that generates a process and an interface, and if I navigate back to my site, I can see this in action. This generates based on the data that I have in my records. I'm able to create a wizard layout based off this data because Appian realizes that there's a lot of information to do. I also can look at the different fields, and from our generation framework, I can see that it generates what it thinks would be best for each user experience. So for short data, it does a text field. For long data, it has a paragraph field or even a style text editor field. All of my related records can be represented through an editable grid that's generated here for me, saving me a lot of valuable time. I can also continue to progress through this, all without having to configure anything myself. So this is the Appian default that I get here. So now that I've gone ahead and seen what I get by default, I can go ahead and see that it sets up a new record for me, so it's fully functional right out of the box. But what if you want to customize this experience even further? I can go ahead and navigate back to my record, and I'll see that I have a direct link to my interface object to go and configure this and customize it further. And just like you saw with the form layout and wizard layout, I have these new no-code design configurations that allow me to really customize this to meet my individual use case. I can play around with different headers, with different wizard step styling, or even remove or add fields depending on what my specific use case needs. So here I'm just having fun showing off some of the different wizard layout styles that we've created. But I can also go ahead and remove my status field because I want that to be entered by the system itself. So really, once it's generated, I want to highlight that this just serves as a starting point to accelerate your development teams and really save you development time. And if we navigate back to the front end, you can really see that all of this is applied within a matter of seconds. So this is how you generate record actions to accelerate your design experience. And as you saw in the keynote yesterday, you can do the same thing with your record views. Again, creating a template for your starting point that are designed by our in-house UX experts. So I want to highlight this again just by summarizing that using these updated generation capabilities can really accelerate your design experience. It can save your low-code developers time and serve as a great starting point for development. So at this point, I do need to hand it over to Julian pretty soon to start talking about all of our custom code capabilities and our new advanced plugins. But I want to highlight that we're really just scratching the surface of our low-code design capabilities. If you're looking for more inspiration on how to design interfaces that will wow your users, see the art of the possible and learn component-specific tips and tricks in our SAIL design system. This library of tools, guidelines, and patterns will walk you through how to design elegant and easy-to-use interfaces that your users will love. So summarizing this section a bit, Appian's out-of-the-box capabilities can accelerate your application development and meet even the most complex requirements. It's fast, flexible, and easy to build, and should be the starting point when thinking about building your user experiences in Appian. But for more specialized UI needs or third-party services, we also provide the ability to extend your applications using a variety of options. So I'm now going to pass it over to Julian to talk more about that.
Thank you so much, Kevin. That was really great. So I'm someone who uses Appian daily, and it's honestly so great to see how literally every release we're updating our components, we're adding new functionality, and it's just as easy to use, and it's automatically upgraded as soon as you upgrade your application. So while the out-of-the-box components cover a wide variety of use cases, Appian's UI can actually be adapted basically however you see fit. Our platform is fully customizable, and your creativity is truly the limit here. And this is exactly where Appian plugins come in. So Appian has 3 SDKs, that's called a software development kit. And these software development kits basically allow any custom function, smart service, integration, connected system, or UI component. And this can be added to your application just as if it was native functionality. You can either deploy it privately just for your own business use case, or you can actually share it with the wider app market community and offer it as either a free or paid offering. So not only does Appian allow you to extend your functionality of your application and address your business need, but you can actually then sell that work, sell that concept back to the larger Appian community and directly profit off your work. Our app market is truly this thriving ecosystem with hundreds of plugins. And here's just a small list here, but we have our highly used Esri.js plugin. You can integrate directly within your mapping service. We have documents with Adobe Sign. You can integrate your log data with Splunk, or even show the latest and greatest AI model providers. And this is what I mean when I say that Appian is an open platform. Appian integrates out of the box, as you all know, with all of the great AI functionality. So you saw Composer, you saw Data Fabric Chat, you saw AI Copilot. But let's say your enterprise already has its own AI service. Let's say you're already paying for separate AI integrations into other business applications. Well, Appian's, again, fully flexible. We have all of our AI providers on the app market, and you can even build your own custom plugin to integrate directly there. Now I'm going to focus specifically on my favorite SDK, the UI SDK. And the UI SDK basically offers this seamless development experience where you can either integrate other technology vendors into the Appian experience, or you can just create your own custom components for exactly what you want it to do and designed in exactly the way you want it to be. For example, again, let's talk about Esri. Let's say that we have a flight mapping software, and right now I dragged and clicked my Esri mapping component, and I'm looking at a flight from Denver back to DC. This is not my flight later today. Don't stalk me, please. And there's a couple of obstacles in the way. And now I can save this data directly back to the data fabric. It integrates into Appian as if it was provided by Appian itself. And I can pass it off to the next person in this flight mapping workflow. So Kevin talked about out-of-the-box components. That was everything with high code building your own components. Now let's talk about the middle of the spectrum, the new concept called advanced plugins. So in 25.2, Appian is releasing a suite of plugins targeting some of our customers' most requested features. These advanced plugins are either created through technology partnerships that Appian has coordinated with some friendly technology vendors, or they're built from the ground up by Appian engineers to solve some really demanding business challenges. And unlike traditional app market plugins, advanced plugins are supported by Appian. They'll receive CVE updates and feature enhancements, triaged by our support team in case you need any new enhancements to them. They're maintained by Appian's technology strategy team, and they're actually bundled as part of our advanced and premium tiers. So without further ado, I'm going to be talking to you guys today about Grid Plus, Microsoft Document Editor, both of which are coming in 25.2, that's next month, and PDF Generator, which is coming out later this year. So first off, let me introduce Grid Plus. So Appian's out-of-the-box SAIL grid is open-ended, works for a high variety of different use cases, and Grid Plus right here is mainly for the use case of high-volume data editing. So this means that Grid Plus allows you to visualize a large quantity of data, multi-select across different cells, drag rows and columns around, and pretty much configure it as however you see fit. It's basically this modern, flexible grid component that allows you to interact with the data fabric in an entirely new way. We're basically bringing spreadsheet-like functionality directly into your data fabric. And for those of you that are unfamiliar, Appian's data fabric is an incredibly powerful technology that allows you to connect disparate data sources into one virtual data layer. So your data can be in SAP, in Salesforce. Let's say there's an Oracle cloud floating, or Oracle database floating in a cloud somewhere, connect it all together in Appian, and now you can edit it into spreadsheet-like functionality within here. And of course, data is not static. The whole point of a grid like this is its powerful editing capabilities. So for the first time, you can simply copy and paste data from a spreadsheet and then sync it directly with your data fabric. And if you'll notice the red over there, I actually set up a custom validation so that all the null fields and fields that are formatted incorrectly are shown in bright red, which allows me to transform my ETL process, so my extract, transform, load process, however I see fit, so that when I actually sync it back to the data fabric, it's actually maintained it's actually transformed in the way I expect the data to be. And the grid actually comes with multi-select, so I can select all these rows at once and edit it all at the same time. It's all in a structured way. I can use keyboard navigation as a developer myself. I love this functionality. I can easily use Shift, Command, drag around different fields at once. We have copy and paste, a right-click context menu, and it comes with the full CRUD functionality that you'd expect from a grid. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself just talking about functionality here, because as we all know, businesses are not built just on flashy features. They're built on stability, on security, and enterprise quality. And Grid Plus certainly does not disappoint in this regard. Out of the box, it comes with all the security features that you know and love from record types, so record level security, column level security, record type security, field level security. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with this Appian lingo, this basically means that when you set up your record type, you can set up different users to have access to that table as a whole, as well as directly customize what rows, what columns, and even what fields they have access to. And then you set it up once, and then it automatically is configured in the grid as well. Now, we've had a beta version of Grid Plus out on the app market for a couple months now. We've been getting feedback on it and integrating some of that feedback into this new advanced version that's coming out. First off, we're increasing the grid record limit from 5,000 up to the full 20 million record limit that we presented today. This means that instead of passing a query directly into the grid, it syncs directly with the record type itself, which means that sorting and filtering is all based off of the full record data set, not just a small subset of your query. And we're adding dynamic pagination, sorting and filtering. We're handling record reads and writes directly from the grid itself. So if you played around with the one on the app market right now, there's some extra SAIL functionality, configurability that might take a couple of days to fully get right. We now have it all out of the box provided within the grid. It's a really, really easy setup process. Additionally, we're improving our link support. It now comes with record links. We are adding embedded record and related actions. So not only can you kind of copy and paste and edit cells directly in the grid itself, but you can have a modal of the form for that record action displayed directly from the grid. So if you're editing related data or you want to integrate that new wizard component that Kevin was just presenting, you can also integrate that directly within the grid. And as you can see here, this is my favorite bit. It comes with both light mode and dark mode. And you can actually customize the accent color and site configurability according to how your site is configured. Now let's switch gears a little bit to our second plugin that's coming out. So this is the Microsoft Document Editor. This feature has been a long time coming. Earlier this year, Appian actually partnered with Microsoft to present Microsoft 365 directly within Appian. Appian is the only low-code platform provider, process company, with this functionality. So long are the days of having to download a file from Appian, make some edits on your desktop, re-upload with the new version called final version 111 ! And rinse and repeat every time you want to make a document edit. Appian now provides inline, multi-editing, concurrent editing of documents stored within knowledge centers. And let me just say that again. Inline, concurrent, multi-user editing of documents stored within Appian's knowledge center. Let's pause on each of those statements. So inline viewing. This means that documents can actually be viewed within an application. As you can see here, I have my full Appian app, and I have inline viewing down below. Concurrent multi-user editing. This means that multiple users at the same time can edit a document and actually see all of Microsoft's features. So you can comment on a document, you can see live presence indicators of where other people are in the document. And as people are editing, all these changes are being directly synced back to Appian with their autosave capabilities. And lastly, documents stored in Appian's Knowledge Center. This means that you basically don't really need another document storage provider anymore. You can just store all your documents in Appian and have that full document editing workflow capability all in one platform. And it's really magical to set up. Let me just play that again. It's really magical to set up. It's as easy as pointing to a document and basically selecting whether you want the end user to be able to view or edit it. And all that security that you've set up on your folders or your document record type, it works natively with the new document record type. You set up your security there once, and it automatically works with the editor itself. And here's a quick demo of live editing in action. So if you'll see here, I'm logged in as one user. I'm gonna go to the full screen edit tab. I'm gonna switch over to another browser. Here I'm logged in as another user. Again, go to that same document and go to the edit tab. And you can see that not only do I see my screen, but I see a live presence indicator of where the other person is in the document. As I'm making changes, those changes are populated live. I can switch back and forth and see that the new edits are instantly applied. And Microsoft on the back end are handling the diffs of all these changes on their server and syncing it back to Appian and storing it back to Appian's Knowledge Center every minute or so. So this component works with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and really unlocks an entirely new way of working with documents within Appian. Additionally, we're actually providing a document creation function so that you can manage the full life cycle from generating to editing to finally saving that document. I don't expect you to go into detail into this. I just want to briefly show the architecture. Basically, an end user, a business user, is editing a document, they're saving a document, they're viewing a document, they're performing some action on a document. Those actions are sent over to Microsoft, who then forwards it back to our server, and Appian on the back end is handling all those requests to the document according to how the end user is interacting with it. This means that Microsoft is handling the diffs, storing a cache of the document, handling all those users editing at the same time, and then every 30 seconds to 2 minutes, those changes will sync back to Appian. From the business user perspective, they don't see anything different. They just see all the edits happening live, and the edits will actually persist back to Appian after a little bit of time. I would be remiss if I didn't point out a couple of requirements. First of all, you have to have an active 365 license. We're not providing Microsoft for free. I don't think Microsoft would like that very much. It's only with Appian cloud environments, and it's on Appian versions 25.2 and up. Unfortunately, it's not available for government customers quite yet. There's an additional Microsoft program that we are currently in the process of getting into. So at this time, FedRAMP environments are not supported. GovCloud is not supported. This is only for commercial customers. And lastly, this is kind of a sneak peek of some functionality that's coming out later this year. We're calling this PDF generator. So if you've ever had a use case where you have a PDF that already exists and you want to populate it with data from Appian, there's a couple of ways that you can do this with process models, with dealing with HTML. It's not the best experience currently. So we decided to come out with a brand new PDF template designer as well as a PDF generator. So what are we looking at here? This PDF designer basically allows me to drag and drop different components onto this blank document. I can either start out with a blank document form or a PDF that already exists, and I can drag on text fields and checkboxes and lines, and it's a full designer for what I want the end PDF to look like. I can change the coloring of the text, I can change the alignment, the formatting, and as you can see, I have a whole list of variables of each of those components that I drag onto, and I'm gonna set some of them to be static, so they're not gonna change, and I'm gonna set some of them to be dynamic, where I can actually inject data into it. So here you can see me dragging on a bunch of different elements onto the page, just to show the full gamut of all the components that you're able to configure within the editor. And then here is a base PDF that already exists, so you not only can create your own PDFs from scratch, but you can work with existing PDFs, and I'm gonna drag that text field component over all the templates, so that when I actually show you the next screen, which is our PDF generator, we can dynamically inject the data onto that PDF and then save it. So let's see that dynamic generation in action. So right here I have my orders app. Here's a list of orders in my record view. I have a table there. And that invoice I just designed, all of that data from the data fabric, from my record view, is automatically injected into that PDF template. And you can see it's all dynamic. So when I click to different record views, they have different data in it, and those invoices automatically adjust depending on what data is being inserted. I can either save it to my desktop right here, or I can save it to an Appian Knowledge Center. So how to download these? Well, on cloud, if you're an advanced or premium tier customer, you're gonna see this new category called advanced. The rest of them will just be labeled standard. This is from the admin console, and you can just click into any of these, and if you're an advanced customer, you'll be able to deploy. It will link also out to the documentation. We'll have a sample app and documentation, Appian Docs, for how to configure this. Most of them are actually very easy to configure. If you are a self-managed customer on My Appian, there will be a new plugin section that you can click into and download and deploy that way. I'm gonna hand it back to Kevin for key takeaways. Again, if you have any questions on any of these, feel free to use the Appian Events app.
Awesome. Thank you guys for staying with us so far. At this point, you're probably ready to catch your flight back, or maybe go out and explore Denver, or just get to the grab-and-go lunch pretty soon, so we'll keep this part pretty quick. Simply put, Appian allows you to create engaging and functional experiences fast so that you can achieve your business outcomes. You can use our no-code, low-code, or custom code in order to create these great experiences, and we're now extending that with our new advanced plugins as well to help you achieve those business outcomes faster. So what's next? One, reach out to us. So in addition to those questions, we'll also be sticking around. So if you have any like one-on-one personal questions you want to ask that you don't want the whole group to hear, feel free to come up. We're happy to stick around and answer more. Next, explore for yourself. So Julian referenced the Appian app market, which has a rich array of component plugins that different people have developed. So check those out, see if one of those might be a good fit for you. And also learn more about our advanced plugins. So Julian showed how you can download those. So make sure to check them out. We're really excited about them there. And finally, continue to learn more and get inspired. So you can keep discovering our latest features outside of Appian World as well, get UX inspiration, and learn best practices. I put two links up here. One is to our documentation page, which just shows all of our latest releases and how you can work with our components, as well as design.appian.com, which is that really big inspiration page where our UX designers curate how to work with our components and provide tips and tricks. And finally, I want to end by just saying that in addition to only scratching the surface on our design capabilities, we're also just scratching the surface on our extension capabilities. So we really went into detail on our UI SDK and the new advanced plugin offering, but we do also have embedded capabilities and even the ability to utilize web APIs to create custom front ends. So while we didn't get into this today, there's so much more to explore. And with that, I want to thank you all for our time. And thanks for sticking around for the last session after the closing keynote. We appreciate it. Okay, and if you have any questions, put them here. I guess, Julian, are you looking?
Let's see, there's one question. I'm assuming this is possible, but can the PDF generation be attached to automation to create these files in bulk and deposit them to a shared folder automatically? Unfortunately, this functionality is only for the end user right now. You actually have to click into an interface. It doesn't work with a process model at this point. That's a capability that we're looking into and actively researching. To use Microsoft Document Editing, does the customer need to have their own Microsoft 365 license? Yes, the end customer will have to have a Microsoft 365 license. When you deploy this one, both from that, it's only available on cloud, so when you see it on the admin console in the plugin section, actually the deploy button will be grayed out and you'll be directed to submitting a support case. The support case will basically confirm with the customer that they're on the correct version of, and their site is configured appropriately, that they have a Microsoft 365 license, and that the customer has a way of auditing which of their end users have a license to be able to actually edit and interact with that document. So there's a couple of legal terms that the customer has to agree to. Once they agree to them, the plugin will be deployed to the site. Does Grid Plus handle equations, so totals, formatting values? This functionality won't be available for 25.2, but it is coming out in a later release, most likely this year. Let's see. Kevin, what are some good use cases for the UI SDK?
Yeah, so our UI SDK really falls into a couple of use cases. One is if you need to extend to another system. So if you want to work with something like Google Map or Esri, things that we don't have native components for, but have a rich user experience, those are a good way to connect. Or if you need a bit more component power functionality that our component library doesn't support. Of course, we have a rich array of components out of the box, but if you're looking for something to meet your use cases that we don't support, great use case for UI SDK.
Yep, completely agree. From Lizzie, what does versioning look like for Grid Plus and for Microsoft Document Editing? For Microsoft Document Editing, Microsoft has autosave capability. They don't really provide a save button anymore. It all saves automatically. If you want to have some sort of versioning type capability, you can always use the process modeler to duplicate the document, edit that version, and then save it back. And then as for Grid Plus, as a user is editing the grid, they'll be able to see which cells have been edited. It'll be colored with like a little border. And then when you go ahead and click Submit Changes, we're actually gonna pop up a little modal that shows all the new rows you created, all the data that you edited, and then if any rows were deleted, you have a chance to edit that from that modal. And then when you click Submit, it will sync back to the grid. So in terms of versioning, it's all, I guess, one version, which is our data fabric, but you get some, I guess, enhanced editing capabilities where you get to confirm and double check the edits that you make before syncing back. when for on-prem users, what should be required from Microsoft's side for on-prem for this feature? Does this work without internet connection from a Kubernetes perspective? This is only a cloud feature. Right now, the way that this works is it connects to Microsoft 365's on-cloud, what it's called, Microsoft 365 cloud service. So if you want to host your own Microsoft server, that is actually available. There's another plugin on the app market that allows that functionality. You can host your own Microsoft server and kind of configure document editing that way. But that involves some like high code hosting service to actually like deploy this new server, which if you're on-prem, I assume you have some capability to do. So I would look into the, I forgot the exact name of it, but there's another existing Microsoft plugin on the app market specifically for on-prem usage. I'm assuming it is possible, but can PDF generation, that's, I already read that. Can Grid Plus handle blobs documents in cells or formula? It's powered by the data fabric, so any fields that are available on your record type will be available in the grid. As for the new document record type, if you have some way of extracting that text and inserting it in, that would work. Other than that, it will work with both text and long text. In a future release, there'll actually be a way to like link to an actual document, so you can click that and it will download the document, or you can set it up to like open it up in a viewer. But right now we recommend mainly working with what's on the data fabric, which is the normal fields that you would expect. Did we get to everyone's questions? I believe that's all of them.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys again for your time.
Thank you, everyone.